Hollow Knight is a masterpiece. I'm pretty sure that by now everyone is aware of it or denies it because they like feeling special. There are so many different things that make Hollow Knight so good, and there are hundreds of videos that have already explained that. So by talking about how the game's art style, enemies, world building, and thirst traps make it so good, I want to explain how Hollow Knight got me into games and gave me a new perspective on games as a whole. When I say Hollow Knight got me into games, I don't mean I just loaded into Hollow Knight and suddenly thought, yeah, I'm gonna go play Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege now. I mean, it opened my eyes. Opened my eyes to the possibility that I could beat hard games that, as a kid, seemed impossible to me. Before I played Hollow Knight, I was stuck in a loop of playing games that don't offer much of a challenge. Loads of survival games, Minecraft, Terraria, Astroneer, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, Apex Legends, Candy Crush, Hill Climb Racing. Don't get me wrong, these games have difficult aspects to them, but for the most part, these challenges are easily overcome with better gear or by screaming at the void of my monitor until I cry and delete the game. It's clear to see that what got me into Hollow Knight wasn't the challenging boss fights, or the fact that my fucking shade can't choose a reasonable place to spawn. Originally, it was its cutesy, funny, buggy art style, its music, and its general atmosphere. Also, it was the only thing that would run on my shitty Surface Pro that runs on hopes, dreams, and the tears of starving Chinese factory workers. The game's atmosphere was like nothing the kinds of games that I had enjoyed in the past, and as soon as I dropped into the Forgotten Crossroads for the first time, I was shown how this game would be different from the rest, and how it would hook me in. In the very first section of the Forgotten Crossroads, there is a Geo-mound. This mound is guarded by this asshole, and together they make a pit of despair that little old shitter me could not deal with on my first playthrough. Now I know what you're thinking. Crusader, you are horrendously shit at the game. You can literally just spam attack to kill this fucker. And to that I say, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, correct. I was shit beyond measure. I mean, I literally can't begin to describe to you how terrible I am. I went on a quest to get the Geo on that Geo mound. Obviously, I lost the Geo, was killed by my shade, and then finally recovered my stuff. This little hurdle would have normally made me immediately quit out of the game, which I did. Once I left the game, I sat staring at the title screen, pondering life. And in that pondering, I realized, wait, I'm goated. I then loaded back in, immediately took my revenge, taking at least 2 masks of damage, and continuing through the crossroads. From here, I wasn't as bad at the game. I kind of just got good. Yeah, no need to brag. You know. I did die to the Aspen fight several times, and spikes. A lot of spikes. Also, why the fuck do these guys have shields? Why? They don't need them. They're in one part of the game. Why the fuck do they exist? I hate those assholes. The game was a hard slog, though. I think most people will agree that the game is kind of dull before Green Path. Don't get me wrong, the Crossroads are a great starting point, but it doesn't help get people into the game. It was annoying, but I killed the False Knight suspiciously easily, got my spell. She just drugged me and I woke up in a fucking London back alley. Why are there dead people everywhere? Wait, this game has a fucking spell. It was then that I checked my control scheme. Dash, super dash, quick cast? Well, I can be a fucking wizard in this game? What? Why do I have a Hadouken? What is this shit? This was step 1 in getting me intrigued with the game. Step 2 was Green Path. In a matter of a single loading screen, the world of Hollow Knight went from dull area but cool spell, I guess, to holy fuck, it's green! Color! Also, the baby bitch boulders fucked my ass, so I was just happy to be in an overgrown backyard as opposed to Detroit. Exploring Green Path speaks for itself. It's a lot less windy and annoying to explore than the Crossroads. As an example, let's look at this grub on this little ledge here. It's basically saying, oh, come back later, there's more to discover in this game. Whereas in Green Path, you've already got all the shit you need. You can just go and explore, have fun, gang. Not to mention the color in Green Path, as I said, is a lot more lively, which kept things more interesting. Oh, hey. Hi, Hornet. I wasn't following you or anything. Like, okay, hey, can I get your number? I haven't been stalking you. I may have been stalking. The next boss on the list was, of course, sexy spider lady herself, Hornet. Hornet set a precedent for boss fights that the False Knight just didn't do very well. The Hornet fight flows, and if you don't flow with her, you get turned into a makeshift back scratcher. Their sense of speed is something that makes a boss fight really entertaining, and it remains somewhat consistent through the whole game. Instead of avoiding getting sat on, you feel like you are actually pitting yourself against a skilled warrior. The boss fight is so good that I never even realized I had died a shit ton of times. After Hornet, the game opens up a lot more. I remember returning to the Forgotten Crossroads and finding all these nooks and crannies, as I mentioned before, that I couldn't have gotten to. At the same time, my nail skills were improving a lot, to the point where I could actually fucking kill these shield bastards. In my further exploration of the game, I found the Mushroom Kingdom, aka the Fungal Wastes. To be honest, this was and still is one of my least favorite areas in the game, relative to Deep Nest. But it does exactly what it's supposed to do. The area is an increase in difficulty from Green Path, and the rewards in the area are cool. You get a charm notch, and find this guy.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now.
Plus you find yourself a fangirl once you get the Mantis Claw. The overall design of the area is definitely unique, and don't get me wrong, I like it, but I think the art is just a weird kind of gloomy that makes it too close to Breaking Bad. And the music is fine. Again, it's good, but basically the only prominent part of the song is Christopher Larkin going. What redeems the area for me is the Mantis Village. As you move through the village, you get the Mantis Claw, find Geo that can't be fucking collected, and find a bunch of dudes. Nothing spectacular, but it's cool moving through an area that actually feels inhabited rather than haunted. Further down in the village, there's more of the same Geo enemies. Oh hey, I can challenge these guys. Okay, this is the only part of the video that isn't, like, fully scripted. I love the Mantis Lords. I cannot begin to describe to you what they did for me in this game. I've replayed the Mantis Lord fight in the Hall of Gods so many times that I honestly think I've killed the Mantis Lords more times than there are bosses in the entire game. The way that the fight is set out is just a very good combination of actual fighting and just evading. Because there's never any times where you have to just, like, constantly run. you have breathing points, like when they throw their little boomerang fuckers at you. You can jump over that, get a heal in maybe if you're lucky, but other than that, it's sort of just a consistent fight where you go hit, jump, hit, dash, hit, fuck off, hit, get fucked by 7 dudes that just come from different directions and turn you into a bowling ball that is just hurtling very quickly towards your inevitable demise. But yeah, it's sort of a combination, I feel, with Hornet and bosses later on in the game. It's a very good transition, and I just love it for that. Not to mention the soundtrack. Mantis Lords is easily my favorite boss fight music in the entire game. It's so good. Past the Mantis Lords, the game sort of speaks for itself for me. There were definitely highlights in my first playthrough that made the game seem all the more incredible to me. The Resting Grounds music, for one, the City of Tears is incredible. Finding the Void for the first time was petrifying, but at the same time extremely interesting. But by then I was already sold on the game. And that brings me back to the actual purpose of this video. All of my appreciation for Hollow Knight as a whole came completely naturally, and not once in my playthrough did I feel like there was a challenge I couldn't overcome. I didn't have someone talking in my ear saying, oh, get to this part and then it gets good, or whatever. It was just fun, and there was nothing that could have changed that. Bosses are, for the most part, fair fights as well. For the most part. And the design of the bosses themselves and the areas they inhabit meant that I rarely noticed I was getting my shit rocked. I was driven by the game's designs to get past the challenge in front of me, in order to experience the next cool area or lore entry or upgrade. I am excluding the White Palace from this though. Buzzsaws. In a fucking bug game. Why? What kind of sadist has that shit lying around in the dream realm? You reckon the Pale King was into BDSM or something? I mean, judging from the White Lady being wrapped up, probably. All in all, Hollow Knight opened me up to genres of games that I would never have tried for risk of feeling stupid or being bad at the game. I overcame these preconceived notions because I learned to appreciate games for more than just their gameplay. And as cringe as it sounds, I see most games now as an art form, not just a toy to pick up and get rid of. This is such an incredible script. I literally just have here written, conclude you fucking nonk. I'll just go fuck myself.